Hello and welcome to TTV News with some latest events in Tayninh province. Ladies and gentlemen, on the morning of July 21st, Tayninh Provincial Youth Union had the launching ceremony of the peak days of joining hands to build landscape and protect the rural environment and the third rain Sundays of 2024 in Tân Biên district. Attending the events there were Mr. Trần Đăng Tiến, Deputy Secretary of the Provincial Youth Union, Chairman of the Provincial Vietnam Youth Union.
Before entering the program, officials, union members and young people spent 1 minute of silence to remember General Secretary Nguyễn Phú Trọng. At the program, the Provincial Youth Union awarded the House of Battery Motor to Tân Biên District Youth Union, presented a symbolic ball of the domestic water treatment system motor to the military command of Tân Phong Commune. Tân Biên District Youth Union also presented a symbolic plaque for the national flag project by Tân Phong Commune Youth Union. Then union members and youth of Tân Biên District planted 200 flower trees along roads in Tân Phong Commune.
Ladies and gentlemen, on the morning of July the 22nd, the Secretary of the Provincial Party Committee, Chairman of Provincial People's Council Nguyễn Thanh Tâm, and delegates of the People's Council of the Province and the city had a meeting to the voters in Hiệp Ninh ward. At the meeting, the delegation of the Provincial People's Council informed voters of the results of the 14th section of the People's Council of the Province and the socio-economic situation of the province in the first 6 months of the year. The voters in Hiệp Ninh ward also reflected that Tayninh City is building a Class 2 urban area, but in some places there is still no water supply system to use, and the collection and treatment of household waste still has some shortcomings, causing environmental pollution. The voters also suggested that trash collection should go to every alley and individuals who throw trash indiscriminately should be sharply punished, and the shortage of medicine for patients with the health insurance card still exists. The province needs to have the solutions to make it easier for the people to participate in the medical examination and treatment. The Provincial People's Council delegates answered and classified some voter questions and informed the voters about policies and regulations related to the content of voters' recommendations. The Secretary of the Provincial Party Committee and Chairman of the Provincial People's Council Nguyễn Thanh Tâm also informed voters about some problems causing public medical facilities to lack medical examination and treatment medicines. At the same time, he emphasized that the province is focusing on directing and gradually solving the difficulties of the health sector in terms of medicines, medical supplies, and human resources also. And on the morning of July the 22nd, the Deputy Secretary Provincial Party Committee, Chairman Provincial People's Committee Nguyễn Thanh Ngọc, and delegates from the People's Council of Tayninh Province and Tayninh City had a meeting with voters in Thanh Tân Commune of Tayninh City. At the meeting, the voters in Thanh Tân Commune had opinions and recommendations such as the voters are still having difficulties transferring and separating plots of rice land that already has houses on the land, and it is necessary to consider the quality of medical examination treatment at hospitals and public medical centers, especially in the efficiency of using medical equipment. The Chairman of the Provincial People's Committee Nguyễn Thanh Ngọc and the delegates of the People's Councils at the two levels responded and answered to voters' opinions and recommendations. The Chairman of the Provincial People's Committee also requested the People's Committee of the City to clarify the issues, have the plans to resolve legitimate opinions and recommendations of the people, and report to the Provincial People's Committee the resolution for the results. At the same time, strengthen propaganda and explain to the people and understand the provisions of the law on issues and areas that are of concern to voters and often encounter difficulties and problems. And also on the occasion of the 77th anniversary of Born Values and Motors Day, the leaders of the province visited and gave gifts to heroic Vietnamese mothers and families with their contributions to the revolution in the province. The delegation led by Mr. Pham Hum Thai, Permanent Deputy Secretary Provincial Party Committee, Head of Provincial National Assembly delegation, and leaders of Trang Bang town visited and gave gifts to policy families in the town. At this play visited, the Permanent Deputy Secretary Provincial Party Committee and Head of Provincial National Assembly delegation of the Ninh Province, Pham Hum Thai, thoroughly visited the health and expressed their gratitude to the families of born valleys and martyrs with their meritorious person. And also the delegation led by Mr. Võ Đức Trong, the member of Provincial Party Standing Committee, Chairman Provincial Vietnam Phalang Front Committee, along with the leaders of Go Dao District, visited and gave gifts to the policy families in the district also. At each destination, the chairman of the Vietnam Phalang Front Committee of the province kindly visited on the health and encouraged the spirit. At the same time, gave each family a gift and wished the war valleys, sick soldiers, and the policy families good health. Continue to promote revolutionary traditions, actively participate and contribute to local development.
Turn to other news. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Nguyễn Văn Nhu, chairman of the People's Committee of Go Dao District, had just chaired a regular meeting in July 2024 to evaluate the implementations of the economic social development, defense security tasks in July and direction tasks in August 2024.
In July 2024, the fields of economy, society, defense, security, earth resource explained. Estimated state budget revenue in July is 24 billion Vietnam dong. Accumulated is more than 187 billion Vietnam dong. Accumulated one is more than 187 billion Vietnam dong, reaching more than 72% of the provincial estimate, reaching nearly 71% of the district estimate. From the beginning of the year until now, the district has implemented 61 new basic construction projects and completed and put into use 44 projects. The fields of health and environment are implemented according to plan, and the political security situation and social order and safety are maintained.
Ladies and gentlemen, on the morning of July the 22nd, the Management Board of the Ninh Economic Zone held a ceremony to award the investment registration certificate to Jin Alloy Factory project to investor of Anhu Jinhua Jin Society Company Limited. The Jin Alloy Factory project is invested in Phuc Dam Industrial Park of Go Dao District, mainly serving the tire manufacturing, medical and semiconductor industries. The Management Board of the Ninh Economic Zone issued an investment registration certificate for the project for the first time on April 17 of 2024 with an area of 2.3 hectares, the total investment capital of $22 million and implementation progress of the project within 24 months. And when put into operation, the projects will promote industrial production, contributing to the socio-economic development of the Ninh Province and create jobs for 200 workers. And also, TayNinhTV joint stock company belonging to Saigon Newport Corporation also recently coordinated with the Department of Labor, Work Balance and Social Affairs to visit, give gifts to 6 heroic Vietnamese martyrs currently living in the area. At the visited places, the representatives of the two units thoroughly inquire about the health and express their gratitude and deep gratitude to today's generations for the sacrifice and great contributions of martyrs in the course of the disease and for the liberation of the nation. And I also hope that the martyrs, heroic martyrs, will continue to live happily and healthily and enjoy their old age. At the same time, encourage the family to continue promoting revolutionary tradition in the current work of building and protecting the fatherland. And from the beginning of 2024 until now, the custom clearance activities for import and export of goods through the border gates of Lang Sơn province have continued to maintain their momentum. At the border gates that are carrying out custom clearance activities in Lang Sơn, Hữu Nghị International Border Gate is still the most vibrant trade border gate. On the average, Each day here, custom clearance is processed for over 800 vehicles, of which about 200 vehicles were exported and about 600 vehicles were imported. The main import and export items are fresh flowers, industrial machinery, consumer appliances, electronic components, etc. To create favorable conditions, the Customs Agency has developed many solutions to support businesses in coordination with the other forces, the functional forces and capacity for joining goods, especially agricultural products. As for the specialized freight route Tân Thanh Bò Chai market area, to promote quick and convenient custom clearance, the authorities have created a green channel to prioritize handling procedures for establishing support teams to closely monitor business activities and thereby providing the most optimal support for custom clearance procedures. Every day we regularly go to locations to strictly check and control, avoiding border gate congestion. For food goods, we create conditions for priority of the flow of the goods. The positive results in import and export activities recently will create momentum for a breakthrough in the turnover of import and export goods through the area.
Ladies and gentlemen, 70 years ago, the Geneva Agreement on the cessations of the hostilities in Vietnam was signed, opening a rich victory that ended 9 years of long resistance against the French colonial invasions of the Vietnamese people. It has become a brilliant milestone of the young revolutionary diplomacy under the party leadership. Until today, the lesson from negotiating, signing, and implementing the Geneva Agreement still remain valuable for the work of building and developing the country and protecting the fatherland.
On May 8, 1954, exactly one day after the victory of Dien Bien Phu, which resulted throughout the 5 continents and was world-shaking, the Geneva Conference on Ending the War in Indochina was opened. The delegation of the government of the Democratic Republic of Vietnam, led by Deputy Prime Minister and Acting Minister of Foreign Affairs Phạm Văn Đồng, attended the conference with the poster of a victorious nation. This is the first time the fledgling diplomacy of the Democratic Republic of Vietnam participates in a multilateral international conference with representatives of 5 major countries, including the Soviet Union, China, France, the UK, and the US. After 75 days of intense and complicated negotiations, with 7 plenary meetings and 24 delegation head-level meetings, along with bilateral and multilateral contact activities, on July 21, 1954, the Geneva Agreement on Cessation of Hostilities in Vietnam was signed. So the Geneva Conference consists of 2 parts. The first part is a military issue. The second part is a political issue. Those 2 issues reach our point of view when attending the conference. The military issue must be resolved. France must cease fire and withdraw troops from the 3 countries of Vietnam, Laos, Cambodia, and France must acknowledge independence and sovereignty and unify the territory of Vietnam. The signing of Geneva Agreement is not only a historical milestone for our nation, but also has epoch-making significance because this is a common victory for the 3 Indochina countries and the peace-loving people in the world. This agreement, along with the Dien Bien Phu victory, strongly encouraged oppressed peoples to stand up and fight for national liberation, opening the door to the collapse of colonialism around the world. With our country's diplomacy, the Geneva Agreement is the first multilateral international treaty that Vietnam participated in negotiating, signing, and implementing, not only affirming its position as an independent and sovereign nation in the international arena, but also an important milestone in the development of Vietnam's revolutionary diplomacy, thereby leaving many valuable lessons about diplomatic methods and arts imbued with Vietnamese diplomatic identity in the Ho Chi Minh era.
And ladies and gentlemen, in recent years, orchids have been popular with many people because they are not only beautiful but also have quite high economic value. Orchids hobbyists are also increasingly numerous, many of whom are boldly invested and aimed for economic development also. Visiting the orchid growing model combining trade and production of Missy Ngô Thị Hảo in Bình Lợi Hamlet, Hảo commune of Châu Thành district. Missy Hảo boldly invested 1 hectare of family land to build and develop an orchid garden, and at the same time equipped with a modern system for orchid care. Currently, the garden has more than 14,000 plants, including many types of orchids with high economic value, such as J orchids, Thai orchids, and 4N orchids, April Longan orchids, August Longan orchids, etc., and choosing to plant many different types of orchids with many different colors and shapes and help growers better meet the market needs. During the planting process, there were many risks because when the sun is too hot, the roots will dry out, and when it rains, the plants will rot, and the leaves will rot also, the tops will rot also, and there are a lot of risks. That causes many times when I plant, I get discouraged, but I am determined that I must plant this kind of flowers, so grow to have a source of income, although it is small but produce a lot of products. I also have the money to go to the fields, no source of income for the family. Orchid growing is a profession with great potential, just also full of challenges. And to be successful, the farmers and growers need to carefully prepare financially, knowledge and techniques also, while always update information and apply modern growing methods. With the role of farmers in Hảo commune, the association regularly coordinates with the district agricultural extension center to open the trade transfer classes implanted for the farmer members and create conditions for the farmer members to access capital sources such as policy banks, job creation, and farmer support funds to create the condition for farmers to implement the motto, improve the motto, and replicate it to other countries, other farmer members also. And through the time pursuing the orchard growing, Missy Hảo orchard growing model has proven to be effective and sustainable in economic development. With the support from authorities on all levels, the farmer organizations, and the efforts of the growers and the farmers themselves, orchids are not only beautiful flowers but also economic flowers that help many families get rich.
That's all for today, TTV News. Thank you for being with us, and goodbye for now.